Hello, dear twin flames, and welcome to this new reading for this new week. As usual, the upper row is the energy of the divine masculine, and the lower row is the energy of the divine feminine. So, let's start with the first card. In the first card, the divine masculine, he is finding himself in his safe haven, the prison of walls that he has confined himself in to keep himself safe. And now he's beginning to think that this safe haven is boring, stagnating, isolating, and limiting. He's shifting his perspective about the twin flame connection. Now he's starting to think that the twin flame connection is this new world that he wants to explore. He's been given this amazing opportunity to enter this new world, and he is curious, he is excited, he's looking forward to entering this new world. The past lessons that he has learned, they are fastened to his mind, and his desires and dreams in life, they are forming a new doorway for him. He's beginning to think that what he thought was impossible, the reunion, it can be possible. He's beginning to think that there could be something called destiny, and the divine feminine could be his destined partner. Accepting the role of destiny in his life, accepting the divine will in his life, these are the advances that the divine masculine is making in his spiritual journey. The lilies and roses here, they represent the love that he feels, a mixture of divine and earthly love. He cannot quite understand what is this love. It seems very different, very alien, very deep, and something that is consuming him. It's the problem is that he's not in control. Problem is that it's consuming him. But yes, he is finding a path out of his mental prison and looking to come out from behind his wall. In the next card, we see the high priestess. You can say this is the divine feminine. This is how he sees the divine feminine. Mysterious. Like in the divine masculine's eyes, the divine feminine is mysterious and, larger than life. Yes, they do see you as some sort of a goddess, and they do put you on a pedestal. And he's in awe of you. He is, he's thinking that you are everything that he has ever wanted and more in a woman. Okay. He's receiving information from the universe, which is causing this shifts in his journey. And you can also see that there is the triple moon goddess symbol here. There are the two pillars of severity and mercy. So, the divine masculine sees the feminine as some sort of a goddess, Okay, and he is beginning to trust his intuition. The moon symbol here is about intuition. He's beginning to, really, really get in touch and be connected to his intuition. and somehow he knows that this is how it's supposed to be. He's not supposed to know everything. The the book being hidden here, like he is kind of appreciating the journey, how it has unfolded, how everything went from him being so much in the matrix, and then where he is now, and he knows where he's, he has a faint idea of where this is headed, and he's feeling excitement, and he's feeling that, this is his life path. Somewhere subconsciously he has chosen this life path. Okay, and that he is grateful for this journey. It has led to a lot of shifts for him. I know a lot of feminines, the divine feminines, they think that because they have been in the role of the chaser for a long time, the divine masculine might see them as desperate or, easily available or emotionally available all the time, but that is all not true. Those are just your fears talking. The divine masculine actually sees you as this goddess who is a powerful creator and a powerful destroyer too. You have the two pillars, the pillar of severity and mercy. He knows if you are putting your energy into creating the relationship, you can also destroy the relationship if you want to. He's not taking you for granted at all. And he is, very much attuned to his intuition now. Stopped listening to his logic. In the next card, we see Archangel Gabriel. He is merging. He's in himself. He's carrying the symbols of fire. The disc on his forehead is representing solar fire, and the triangle on his chest represents elemental fire, and he's mixing water. So on his self, he's merging the elements of fire and water. Passion and emotion. This is something the divine masculine is merging. This is not really about finding a balance. Okay, this is about merging the enormous passion that is feeling along with the emotions that is feeling. Then there is another merging. His Archangel Gabriel's feet, one foot is in the water, one foot on the ground. There should be a merging of the divine masculine subconscious mind with his higher self. He is always connected to his higher self, but not aware of it, being so much in the 3D. He's finding his divine connection. He's finding that his subconscious is always connected with his higher self, and the higher self is guiding him all the time. He's listening to that higher self. And then there is also the merge of the feminine and masculine inside the divine masculine. All of us carry the energies. It's all about merging them, balancing them into becoming whole within ourselves first. And the whole entire process will lead to achieving divine consciousness or Christ consciousness or God consciousness or enlightenment or whatever you call it. Okay, all this whole merging process which is happening with the divine masculine is leading him to achieve divine consciousness, which is needed to come into a reunion. In the next card, we see the Page of Wands. So we see here 3 pyramids behind the Page of Wands, and they are the Giza pyramids, because they are 3. They are symbolic of the Giza pyramids in Egypt. And very similar to three stars in the constellation of Orion, which represents Osiris, who died and he was reborn. Okay, the connection to the Greek god, not Greek god, Egyptian god Osiris, who died and who was reborn. The constellation Orion is also called Kessel, which means fool. So I'm just showing a connection between the Page of Wands card to the Fool card, because that seems to be the energy of the divine masculine. The energy of being hopeful and trusting, and at the same time knowing where they are, knowing that they are in a place where there is not much connection and love. They have secured themselves behind their wall, and still they are trusting and hopeful that they will achieve reunion. Okay, so also this card is talking about communication, and combined with the energy of the Fool card, it's about hoping that the communication leads to something fruitful. It's not just the on off communication which happens and then nothing, it doesn't lead to anything. This kind of communication, especially now when we are in this shifting times, this communication will lead to something fruitful. And then we have the World card. Okay, so this is indicating the completion of a cycle for the divine masculine. You see here this old woman and this young boy. I mean, they were all till now in the journey. The divine feminine was the more mature polarity. I would say the older soul. They are both, the masculine and feminine, they are both old souls. But in the twin flame journey, it was very evident that the divine feminine was the older soul, because the feminine polarity has allowed herself emotional growth, which led to spiritual growth faster. The masculine polarity, when they were on their journey on the planet through lifetimes, their emotional growth was stunted, which led to their spiritual growth being stunted. So I think we come to a place where this cycle is complete. So the divine masculine will no longer be the small kid in front of the divine feminine spiritually. We're talking about spiritual age. Okay, he will be almost, or at least higher than this in spiritual age. Okay, because he is going through a lot of mental activity, a lot of soul healing, a lot of soul searching. So we are completing the cycle where we were referring to the divine masculine as a child spiritually. He no longer is a child, he's growing out of his spiritual childhood. We come to the energy of the divine feminine, the Chariot. We see that the divine masculine, as he is going through this process, there was a lot of mental activity happening with him in this week. A lot of mental activity is happening with the divine masculine. So the divine feminine, on her part, she is sorting out intellectual, ethical and philosophical problems of her ascension. She is focusing more on her ascension, her evolution, finding that has to do with identifying blocks in herself which are stopping her from living her life purpose, expressing love to everybody, her family, she's kind of like thinking of what is it that is preventing her from being the highest vibration of love. Yeah, I mean, of course, she has done a lot of work on herself. She has been aware that she has to heal herself on this journey, but she's realizing that there's still something which is keeping her from living her life purpose, releasing those blocks. While the divine masculine is the matrix twin, while she's understanding that the divine masculine is far behind her in the spiritual ladder, she is undergoing her own inward and outward transformation. For her, this journey she has risen from very humble beginnings in this journey and achieved the tallest pinnacles of success. The crayfish in the moon card, the small crayfish, she has become this person who's driving the chariot now. She is in charge. It's like this symbol, it represents the twin flame reunion, with the winged sun representing the divine consciousness. So she has been taking this twin flame journey forward so far. She has been putting in all the efforts. She has been leading. She has become the leader. And not only in the twin flame journey, she's realizing in all aspects of her life how she can be a leader. The journey is opening up new paths for her, which she never thought could open up for her. She is the upper portion of the chariot card. It has a starry sky, and the lower portion, it shows the 3D and the 5D. The lower portion represents the 3D, the earthly plane, and the 5D, the spiritual plane, and the divine feminine. She has found a balance between these two planes. She's not really totally into the matrix, and she's not completely, what do you say, a spiritual guru or something like that, but she has found a balance between the two. She's come into a very good place for herself, where she realizes her power, the power that she always had dormant within her, the power that was required to use in the twin flame journey, and how she has acknowledged that power, how she has made it so far, and she's so proud of herself. In the next card, we see a painful situation is about to end for the divine feminine. Okay, so whatever painful situation the feminine is facing right now, you are being given the tools to dig your way out of that hole. Use those tools. You have to use your free will and take action. Remaining passive is not going to help you. You have to become the active person in coming out of whatever your present dark night of the soul situation is. It could be anything. Okay, so yes, the painful situation is going to end with your active intervention. And your intervention could be as subtle as, changing your thought process, changing the thoughts that you're thinking, changing your outlook, detaching from negative thoughts. In the next card, we see the divine feminine finding herself in a place of isolation. Okay. Now, this sense of isolation that you are feeling is self-inflicted. Others may have abused your trust in the past, and that all that is fine, but don't allow that to create permanent blocks within you. Accepting help in times of need does not lessen your power. If you feel that you need to reach out to the divine masculine or to anybody for any sort of help during this time, please do it. Okay. You are not isolated. There are always beings incarnated and in spirit to help you out throughout your journey in life. Okay, we go to the next card. In the next card, we see the divine feminine. She's kind of, she's so tired of the divine masculine not being able to catch up with her in the journey, that, just to avoid hurt, she is blocking contact with the masculine. She is choosing not to see the masculine, not see them on social media, maybe not contact them, not avoid them, but consciously trying to shift their energy from the divine masculine. The hurts that the divine masculine has caused in the feminine, it's kind of like, they are on their guard. They don't want to feel hurt over and over and over again. You put your guard up, you're guarding your heart. Yes, you do accept that they are on their journey and they need to evolve, and you're giving them the time, but at the same time, you don't want to get hurt. You don't want to feel misery and grief. But know that this is just a passing phase. The divine masculine will soon be on his feet. The reunion will happen, and you will not have to put up a guard against your heart. You can open your heart to your divine masculine. In the next card, we see the wheel. So this also shows the maiden, the mother, and the crone, the triple goddess. Okay, this is the divine feminine coming into her goddess power. I would say this is an era. It's like a new era for the divine feminine begins, where you know your power, you know what you're capable of, and you no longer go back and hide in the cocoon that you were hiding in. This journey has just brought you into your feminine power. This journey has made you so uncomfortable that you had to shift and move and change so many things about yourself, that you are no longer the same person who started the journey. You were being triggered, and you found your place, as the goddess. And now begins the golden age for you, where you can achieve whatever you want to achieve and have whatever you want to have. Again, I'm not glorifying the feminine polarity and saying that the masculine polarity is inferior. No, I do believe that the two polarities are equal. But when I talk about the feminine polarity coming into goddess power, that is because that divinity has been snatched away from the feminine polarity. Throughout ancient civilizations, men were always gods, but not women. The treatment given to women has been horrible. So that's why I talk about The feminine polarity coming into her goddess power. We are all God incarnate on this planet. We are all God experiencing the 3D on this planet. So everybody carries the God spark inside of them. And yes, this twin flame journey is taking us back to our God self, bringing us in our power, making us realize that that the years of conditioning of shame and guilt, and that was just to take our divinity away from us. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you for listening to my reading and have a great day.